because of Ruach HaKodesh. Because you can have Ruach HaKodesh and not be right. Witness the fact that in Halacha, whenever there's an argument between the Noda B'Yehuda and the Or HaChaim, the law is like the Noda B'Yehuda. Even though the Or HaChaim was a great tzaddik, righteousness, spirituality, and truth, being right, are two different worlds. And so, my connection to Chabad, to the Rebbe, to the Torah, has to do with the correctness of the ideology, not the powers that are found behind it. There are incredible powers there, but that's not the reason to be a chosid. It's not the reason to look at these videos. If I tell the truth, you'll look at them further. If I don't tell the truth, don't look at my stuff. Another facet of being here is when you say certain things, you invariably will anger certain people. I talked about the concept of Mashiach at different videos. One of the videos I talked about was concerning those people who still believe that the Rebbe, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, is Mashiach, and say certain things which I don't say. I'm very, very clear about this. I'm not a Mashiachist, nor was I ever a Mashiachist. I would like to be a Mashiachist. I would like to be able to say Yechi, I would like to say that to the Mashiach in Yerushalayim Birakedesh when the Gula Shlema will come. Until that point, I can't say that. I'm being very clear about this. However, those people who claim that this is a Christian concept are way off base. And I've said that many, many times, and I'm willing to engage those people in debate. In the Yerushalmi Brochus, in the Jerusalemite Talmud, the first tractate, the second chapter, almost at the beginning chapter, there are several different prints. So it's impossible for me to give you the exact page number because it depends upon which page you'll find. However, you'll find a discussion there very similar to what is found in the Talmud Bavli Sanhedrin regarding the name of the Messiah. And the Gemara asks, what is the Talmud Yerushalmi, the Jerusalem Talmud asks, what is the name of the Messiah? It gives the several names of the rabbis that are mentioned in Sanhedrin as well. Then it says, Rabbanan Amri, the rabbis say, if he be from the living, then his name is David. If he be from the dead, then he is David. What does it mean he is David? If you look in the Pnei Moshe, it means David, king of Israel, David himself. So this is the most clear place where one sees that it is possible for a person to have died and be the Messiah. King David had been deceased up until that point for 1,100 years. How is it that the rabbis, the majority of rabbis of that generation in the Jerusalemite Talmud, said that King David, who'd been deceased 1,100 years, he is the Messiah? How could they have engaged that possibility? Obviously, to believe that Messiah could be raised from the dead is not a Christian concept. It is a Jewish concept. Same idea is found in the Talmud Bavli when Rav Chia says, if he be from the living, then he is Rabbeinu HaKodesh, Rabbi Judah the Prince, and if he be from the dead, he is like Daniel Ish Chamudis. But you see, he entertains the possibility that Messiah could be from the dead. Now there are people who have twisted the concept, if he be from the dead, from somebody, so they wanted to say somebody who's like those who have died. That's a very twisted change of the words. It's not found in those in the meaning of the words, and it just is out of context. If he's going from the living to the dead, it doesn't mean an example from the living, an example that if he's from the living, he means his Rebbe, Rabbi Judah the Prince. And just as he says, if he be from the living, he means exactly somebody like Daniel. Could be Daniel, could be somebody else who had died. Could have been David, king of Israel. Now, you want further proof? Later down in the page, this is Sanhedrin, Talmud Bavli, Sanhedrin 98b, at the bottom of the page, Rav Papa asks about the remarks of Rabbi Yehuda in the name of Rav. Rabbi Yehuda in the name of Rav said that in the future we will seek out another David, meaning another member of David's family who will be the Messiah instead of David. And because it says they will seek out, exact proof. For they will seek out someone, not David, but their king, somebody who will be like David. And so Rav Papa asks Abaye, how could this be? It says in the prophets, V'David Avdi Nosi Aleim Lo'elam, my servant David, King David, will be the prince upon them forever. It means David himself. So how could it be that Rav Yehuda Barav says it'll be someone else other than King David, when King David has been promised to be the prince? Now listen to this. What is Rav Papa asking? Rav Papa is asking, how could Messiah be anyone else except for King David? Obviously, Rav Papa is agreeing with the Rabbanan of the previous generation who were in Eretz Yisrael, that King David will be the Messiah. Otherwise, there's no basis for the question. So if King David is supposed to be the Messiah, I have a question. If this is a Christian concept, immediately Abaye should have said, Rav Papa, you become Christian. How dare you? Get out of here. He didn't do that. Instead, he says that King David will be like the viceroy, and the Messiah will be the real king. And so it's not that David won't be a prince, but his princehood, his nesius, will be in a different realm. It won't be the overarching king, the emperor. It will be the vizier, the prime minister. At any rate, you see from here, from Rav Papa's question and Abaye's answer, that the possibility exists that the Messiah could be from the dead. It's just that it'll be somebody else other than King David. And that's a very clear answer. And for those of you wanting to know why Maimonides does not entertain the possibility of Messiah being from the dead, it's very simple. Maimonides does not deal with miracles. In fact, he says that there's no difference between the days of the Messiah and the days preceding the Messiah, except for the control of the Gentiles over the people of Israel. And so Maimonides is not someone to bring into the realm of halacha miraculous things. The raising of the dead to become a Messiah is not something that is normal, cannot be expected at any moment. But Maimonides does not say that this is impossible. In fact, when Maimonides criticizes those Christians who believe in him, in Yeshu, in the end of chapter 11 of the Laws of Kings, Halacha 4, the part that the censor has excluded that has been reinstated recently, so he says clearly that this is a terrible, terrible stumbling block that Jesus has brought upon the nations of the world, because he caused them to believe in a God other than the Creator. Furthermore, he negated all of the commandments and caused Israel to be destroyed and to be exiled and humiliated. He doesn't mention the fact that the Christians believe in a second coming as a terrible thing. If this is such a terrible thing, Maimonides should have said, you can't believe in a Messiah that has died and been resurrected a second time. He doesn't say that at all. The same thing is true, by the way, regarding the Ramban, the Nachmanides, in his debate with Pablo Christianity. He does not say that Messiah can't be from the dead. He says other things. He says no place does it say in any Jewish book that he will be, redeemed or sold for 20 pieces of silver, and so on and so forth. All those other things that they say about the founder of the Gospels. He doesn't say that about, and furthermore, he can't be resurrected. Why doesn't he say that in the same sentence? The reason he doesn't say that is because it's clear in the Talmud Sanhedrin 98b, and as well as the Rishonim just mentioned, clearly that there's a possibility Messiah could be from the deceased, from those that have died. That's